It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast for this, the 19th day of September 2023, brought to you in part by Will US. We got several headlines today. We got a busy show today this morning, folks. Of course, the headlines today, Utopia, the seas floated out. We've got a weather update. Greek authorities nab PickPocket ring. Kydon Ferry joins U.S. Coast Guard in a rescue. Carnival introduces a vegan menu. Fugitive apprehended on Smeralda. And the Adora Magic City to sail January 1st, and lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, folks, today, let me get the oxygen out of the way. I don't need it now. Sorry about that. Forgot to take it off before I went live. How about that one? All right, today's National Butterscotch Pudding Day. You know, that's another one right up my alley. I like pudding just about of any kind. Probably my favorite is, of course, chocolate. I like chocolate mousse, chocolate pudding, anything in that vicinity. But butterscotch pudding's okay too. I like butterscotch. I'm not sure where I can find some today, but if I can, I'll celebrate Butterscotch Pudding Day by, eating some. If you're listening by the podcast, you're always welcome here, of course. If you are listening to the podcast, anytime you ever want to jump over to the video feed, you can just look at the description of your podcast, and there's a link to do just that. And of course, if you're searching for us, all you have to do is go to wherever you get your podcast from and search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. Or you can access it via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Okay. I promised this yesterday, so we're going to start off with a commercial. This is my first roll on the Will Model C2 power chair. It has a driving range of 11 miles at a maximum speed of 5 miles an hour. It's 21.8 inches wide, has a weight capacity of up to 300 pounds, and is completely air travel approved. The Will Model C2. Okay. I told you I was going to get the chair out yesterday. I did. And so we now have, at least for the time being, until I go someplace better to film one than my driveway, we'll use that for some Will commercials. So that was a kind of a red letter day today. I do have one more project, which will be today. And that is this afternoon, I'm going to go outside and take the chair apart and stow it in my car. Now, again, folks, there's a time limit on my oxygen supply for doing anything physical. So I'm going to see. I'll probably have a chair standing by to sit down if I need to. But that's going to be today's test. If in fact I can take the thing apart and put it in the car and get in the car where I've got, can catch my breath again in the given time frame. I think I can. After putting it together, I think this is going to work out just fine. So, but we got to test it out to make sure. So we're going to see. All right. I know you guys are probably getting as tired of this as I am, but we got to start off with a look at the weather before we get to the news. And the Atlantic has just got Nigel. And things really haven't changed a whole lot about Nigel as far as what's going to happen to Nigel. But it's forecast to intensify today with a large eye over subtropical central Atlantic. Currently, it's located 690 miles east-southeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds 85 miles an hour. It's moving northwest at 13. Minimum central pressure is 979. That's dropped a little bit more today. The hurricane is forecast to turn northward late today, then accelerate rapidly northeastward through the rest of the week. Nigel's forecast to strengthen some through early tomorrow, with weakening likely on Thursday and Friday. Nigel's forecast to become a strong post-tropical cyclone on Friday. And it's basically, folks, going nowhere. So it's just going to be out there in the water. That's a good thing. So, all right, in the Pacific, we've promoted this up to a red X now. So this is heading to another system that I don't see causing any problems, but we'll see what this forecast is. And the red X's showers and thunderstorms have increased over an area of low pressure several hundred miles southwest of the southern tip of Baja California Peninsula. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for further development, and this low is expected to become a tropical depression sometime today. The system is forecast to move slowly west-northwestward for the next day or so, then turn northward by late Wednesday over the western portion of the basin. 90% chance for further formation over the next 48 hours, and 90% chance over the next 7 days. It's probably going to become a hurricane, and it's probably going to go absolutely nowhere as far as interacting with land goes. All right, before we get to everything else, I do have a couple things to share with you. Let's see where we're going to start off. Emma and Jono are in Singapore on Spectrum of the Seas. Bubba and Lynn are on the bucket list cruise for them as much as they sail. This is the biggie. They started off in Vancouver. They're now in Cozumel. They're on their way to Tahiti and I don't know where. It's a crazy itinerary, but they're going to be at sea for like 47 days. So that's Bubba and Lynn. Tanja was at Harrods in London, and she's got a little baggie in her hand. Dwayne, how much did that cost you, my friend? I'm sure it was a chunk. The cruise monkeys are in Marseille. It's good to see them. I have so much fun when they've been on the show. And my counterpart, Sylvia, this was a couple days ago over the weekend, and I missed out on it. But she was made it to a baseball night in Milwaukee. I've shared with some of the things she did in Milwaukee. But I think Sylvia may be back home now. Not sure if she's got another presser planned or not. I need to talk to her on how she gets these press trips set up that she does, which is good for, obviously, for Will US. She's an ambassador. I'm an ambassador. Okay. It's good for advertising what you can do on a scooter or a wheelchair. Of course, she's on a wheelchair full time. It's also it's good for her channel. Spin the Globe is her brand, and I'm enjoying the travels that she does. So, all right, guys, I'll be back with the news stories today after a quick word from one of our network sponsors. All right, the lead story comes out of our friends over at Royal Caribbean. For the first time since the start of construction of the massive cruise ship Utopia of the Seas has entered the water during a float-out. The 15-hour event took place at Chantiers de l'Antique shipyard in Saint-Nazaire, France. 15 hours, you say, to float out? Yes. 46 million gallons of water were flooded into the ship's dry dock, allowing the vessel to touch water. Excuse me. Wow. A momentous operation during the building of a cruise ship. The final of Royal Caribbean's Oasis-class ships, Utopia of the Seas, will be debuting out of growing cruise port Port Canaveral in Florida. The ship will offer 3- and 4-night cruises to the Bahamas, alienating between sailings. This will allow multiple trips to the cruise line's private island, Perfect Day, at Coco Cay. The sailings will begin in June of 2024. The newly built ship will be powered by liquefied natural gas, the first in its class to do so. The fuel will allow for cleaner operation as the cruise industry seeks efforts to reduce environmental impacts on communities. The ship will offer many familiar features found on its sister ships. However, it boasts several distinctive offerings, including the indoor tiki bar called Pesky Parrot, located on the promenade. Something tells me that would be my first destination on board the ship. The Pesky Parrot. I like it. Wonder if they're going to have any parrots on board. That would be even cooler if they had a parrot in the bar. The Greek authorities made an announcement yesterday. They have successfully dismantled a criminal organization that has been systematically engaging in pickpocket activities targeting tourists in the bustling tourist hotspot of Santorini Island. This operation has culminated in the apprehension of 3 foreign nationals suspected to be members of the said criminal ring. They now face charges related to criminal organization and theft. According to the information provided by the police, one of the organization's members had assigned the other 2 individuals with the task of identifying unsuspecting tourists, primarily focusing on the popular tourist destination of Oia and Fria Thera, Santorini's cruise port. Adopting the guise of fellow travelers, they would approach these tourists and employ deft sleight of hand techniques to discreetly pilfer personal belongings from them. The primary targets were disembarking cruise ship passengers, taking advantage of the brief duration of their visit to the island, which often hindered victims from promptly reporting thefts to the authorities. All right. Mona Island, situated amidst the waters between the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, has become a magnet for human traffickers seeking to transport migrants to the United States. Consequently, the U.S. Coast Guard frequently conducts rescue operations in the perilous area, often with the assistance of compassionate civilian vessels. Yesterday, the crew of Greek-owned ferry Kydon demonstrated their swift response to an emergency situation unfolding off Sardinero Beach, a location on Mona Island known for its unique attributes. While a significant portion of Mona Island's coastline is characterized by jagged and inaccessible terrain, Playa Sardinera presents a more inviting landscape. This stretch of pristine white sand serves as a base for the Park Ranger Corps, a division of Puerto Rico's Natural Resources Department. Additionally, the beach benefits from the protective presence of a reef running parallel to its shoreline. Late on Sunday night, a vessel carrying migrants capsized perilously close to the reef just off Playa Sardinera. 6 individuals found themselves immersed in the water, their desperate cries for help capturing the attention of the rangers stationed ashore. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the Ranger Corps promptly initiated contact with the Coast Guard. They immediately redirected the cutter Margaret Norville and dispatched an Ocean Sentry search aircraft to scour the area in search of survivors. Additionally, Sector San Juan requested the assistance of the car ferry Kydon, operating regular routes between Santo Domingo and San Juan. The Kydon happened to be in the proximity to Mona Island at the time and promptly altered its course to provide aid. The Ocean Sentry aircraft reached the scene ahead of the other responders and employed a flare to illuminate the water surface. Their keen eyes detected an individual making way toward the shore, prompting them to guide a rescue boat from the Kydon to retrieve the survivor. Once safely on board, the survivor conveyed that 5 more individuals were still in the water. Meanwhile, the Ocean Sentry aircrew continued their search and was relieved to discover that the remaining 5 migrants had successfully reached the shores of Playa Sardinera. The park ranger stationed there promptly offered assistance to the survivors. Miraculously, all 6 migrants managed to survive the harrowing capsizing ordeal without sustaining any injuries. The Coast Guard and the Ranger Corps are currently collaborating with Customs and Border Protection to facilitate the transfer and processing of the 6 individuals. Good work by the Coast Guard and the folks from Kydon. That was a pretty interesting setup. All right, the first thing I thought when I saw this was, I'm not a vegan by any stretch of the imagination. But Carnival Cruise Line is debuting a new vegan menus that have just been added on board the Carnival Freedom, sailing out of Port Canaveral, and the Carnival Horizon, sailing out of Port Miami. All right. The new vegan menus will come available fleet-wide through the end of the year in stages, a few each week. The menus will offer a selection of appetizers, entrees, and desserts made entirely of vegan ingredients. Among the new options are Hawaiian salmon poke, featuring plant-based salmon, edamame, mango, and cucumber. Now, folks, again, I'm not a vegan. I love poke. I usually have it with tuna, but I'd go out, jump all over it for salmon too. Stuffed mushrooms, stuffed with plant-based cheeses and spinach. I don't know what plant-based cheeses are going to taste like, but I would try that as I like stuffed mushrooms a lot. Spaghetti carbonara with vegan bacon, onion, and garlic. I don't know what vegan bacon's going to taste like, but I'd try that. Then there's grilled tofu steak, it's with honey barbecue sauce. That probably wouldn't be my favorite. Baked vegetable au gratin sprinkled with melted plant-based cheeses. Yeah, I like potatoes au gratin. I like other vegetable dishes au gratin, I'd try that too. Then there's eggplant cutlet alla parmigiana. I can't do eggplant. Key lime velvet cake with raspberry and strawberry. Oh yeah, no doubt I'd try that. Dutch double chocolate pave with buttercream frosting. Don't know what chocolate pave is, but I'd try that. And cappuccino pâte de crème. Well, I do cappuccino on occasions. So a vegan cappuccino. It will be, I did check, it will be on the Carnival Conquest when I'm on it in November. So I'll be able to attempt some of those. That'd be all right with me. All right. Matteo Romano, age 56, who has been on the run since 2018 after a conviction. After a conviction for drug trafficking and evasion, was apprehended during a family cruise. Romano has been living in Spain's Balearic Islands, had evaded authorities for years. Italian police received a tip that he was aboard the cruise ship Costa Smeralda, departing from Palma, Mallorca, in a coordinated operation with the support of Costa Cruises. The police officers boarded a pilot boat and reached the Costa Smeralda, located approximately 3 miles off the coast of Palermo. The cruise ship's captain maintained a stationary position with the engines running for a while, allowing the investigators to come aboard. They searched decks and quarters until they finally reached Matteo Romano's cabin. Meanwhile, back on land, Romano's family had a chance to say their farewells before he was taken to the Pagliarelli prison, where, unless there are new judicial orders, he will serve his sentence. The fugitive had accumulated a 10-month sentence for drug trafficking and an additional 8 months from the Palermo court for evasion. And finally, this morning, folks, we've talked about this through several stages in its construction. The Adora Magic City, which is China's first large-scale cruise new build, is now planned to begin international service on January the 1st. It will sail from Shanghai Wuzhangkou International Cruise Port, providing 4 and 5 night Northeast Asia itineraries to Japan and South Korea. The ship can carry up to 5,246 passengers. Pretty awesome. And now we've got a new player in the game of building cruise ships. All right, that's it for the news today, folks. I have my meeting coming up at 12:30 with Viva. I still don't know if Pete's going to make it today or not. I haven't heard from him this morning. We'll see. I have several things for the girls. I hope they have several things for me for the show tomorrow. And I have one thing maybe for Steve, if he's there from the head home office. It's a big week, Steve. All right, Hot Air Tom's with us. Hello, everyone. Driving from Morgantown, Pennsylvania to Lancaster to pick up Mom, and then to Gap to get Aunt, taking them to a late lunch at an Amish restaurant in Georgetown. All right, I like the Amish restaurants. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Steve's with us down in Kentucky. Gary, older than dirt. Good morning, Gary, older than dirt. Glad you're here again. Sonny's with us down in Mississippi. Gretchen out in Ohio, getting ready to go to the airport, and she's on her way to the other side of the pond. Gretchen, make sure you post lots of pictures. Sonny says, have fun. Your trip sounds awesome. Cindy's with us. Everybody's saying safe travels to Gretchen. Nikki's here. Good morning to Chillie and the gang. Spending the morning cleaning together, ready for the cleaners as you do. Yeah. Gretchen's thanking everybody. M is with us today. Wow, M's here early again this morning. I'm impressed, M. Nikki says, safe travels to Gretchen. Sounds like a wonderful trip. The poodle is being groomed right now, and I have to go be at the dentist at 1. Sorry about that. Although my trip was pretty good the other day I had when I did the show early. I didn't talk about that, but it was a good visit, so that was all right. The new treatment the periodontist is giving me, I kind of like. It's a how do you explain it? It's kind of like a mouth guard that fits tightly on both top and bottom, and I put some medicine in it and then put it on, and it stays on for 15 minutes. The medicine tastes wonderful. It leaves a terrific taste in my mouth afterwards. I thought I might have problems with because I've got a terrible gag reflex. It doesn't bother me. So I've just gotten in the habit now when I go in the morning, then brush my teeth and do all that kind of stuff in the bathroom, I continue it on with the full treatment of, flossing and all that business with my teeth, and then put the thing in for 15 minutes. I come back and, work for 15 minutes, and I got to take it out and rinse them off, and it's ready for the next morning. But it's apparently it's doing some good because a lot of my gum problems are virtually gone. Now it doesn't replace all the areas that I've lost, but still, the gum issues that started this whole thing off are way better. So that's a good thing. Nikki says, I'll be thinking M at 1 o'clock. Hope it's painless visit. I think one more filling. I am also getting mouth sized and fitted for teeth protector. Mouth guard. So that's kind of similar to what I'm using as a mouth guard, only it's not that I'd use permanently, out away. It's just for 15 minutes when it's just me. I'm sure it looks cranky, but it's really not. Cindy's here. The vegan dishes sound awesome. I always love the vegan options on Royal Caribbean. When will it be on Mardi Gras? Just over 30 days for me. I believe Mardi Gras is one of the next 2 or 3. I think you'll have the vegan dishes on Mardi Gras. I know it's just before I'm on Conquest, so it's like maybe a week before, 2 weeks before, but I'm sure Mardi Gras is before Conquest. Let's see. Gretchen says first picture will be me at the airport with an adult beverage. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. That will be on the show tomorrow. I promise. Hot Air says no vegan food for me. Hey, yeah, but Hot Air, some of it I really like. I mean, it's not because I'm vegan, because I'm like you as far as meat and all that. But there's still things on the vegan menu that I'll eat and be really happy with it. Love the new menus for Carnival. Entree salads look awesome, but I love salads. Yeah, well, that's right up your alley, Cindy. So, okay, we'll have 2 of us then. I'll get a chance to to try it out here this fall and report back. So maybe we'll have to do an interview and compare notes, or maybe a live from your dinner table. That would be cool. Anyway. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I probably didn't say this, so maybe I should. If you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up. Let's everybody go smash that thing today. I would appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. My goal is to have 5,000 subscribers by the second Tuesday of next week. That's my goal, and I'm going to stick with it. All right, guys. As always, by the way, if you do subscribe, hit that little bell notification thing. Then you'll know when I go live or when a new video is up. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a lot. So that would be terrific if you could do that. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody, vegan food or not. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.